Welcome to your tutorial to walkthrough of the questions. So you've got a fair few questions with these, but most of them are straightforward. So just stay tuned and have a look. First one is asking you to look at a relationship between C and D. You've got value for C, you've got value for D. You're going to divide them and see what that number is. That number should actually be very close to 3.14. which is our number for pi. Your question 5 is doing true and false questions. It's all about basically what are your features of your circle, what's our formula to calculate circumference, and what are our approximations for our value of pi. So, quick little recap, just very, very, very quick. So, we have our circumference here, which is our outside measurement of our circle. We have our radius, which is from our circumference to the middle and to the center, sorry. Then we have our diameter, which goes from one side of the circle to another one. So we have our diameter. We also have this thing off to the side here called a tangent. And again, that is at 90-degree angle to a particular point, only one point hitting of the circle. We also have this thing here, which is called a chord, and our chord creates a segment or a chunk. And we also have a sector, which is like our pizza slice. So when you're going through those questions, keep those all in mind. Next ones to have a look through. We are finding our circumference given either our radius or our diameter. So if I'm doing these, what I'm mainly focusing on is I am actually going to be substituting in and then making sure at the end that I write my answer to 2 decimal places. So as I'm doing this one for question 6, what I am doing is I am substituting in. So I've got 2 multiplied by, for this one, it's asking us to use pi. So you will have to grab your calculator out for this one, multiplied by our radius of 2, which will give me 4 multiplied by pi, which is equal to 12.566. so on and so forth, and to 2 decimal places, 12.57. So what you can see here is I've looked at the number next to my one here, and because it's greater than 5, I round up. Next one, I have a radius now of 39. So rushing through these ones, again, using our formula, 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by 39, which gives me 78 multiplied by pi. When I chuck that into the calculator, I get 245.044, and it keeps going on. Again, I'm looking at this digit here. It's lower than 5, so I am going to round down. So I end up with 245.04. Next one I have is my diameter. To find my diameter, you need to to find my radius, you can either convert it, so you'd get half of this number, or you can use this one here. I'm going to show you how to do it just with this particular one here. So with this one, I will do pi multiplied by 7, which gives me 7 multiplied by pi, which gives me 21.991, and I only want it to 2 decimal places, so that's rounding down, so I end up with 21.99. And again, if you were doing this instead with 2 pi r as your actual formula that you're using, you will just halve your 7. So if I'm doing that one, I do 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by 3.5, which again will give me 7 multiplied by pi, which is the exact same as up there. Okay, question 7. Let's get this one done. We are finding circumference, and we have a particular value we are using for pi. Okay, so first one we need to do is we've got, for each of these, we have a diameter. So we need to actually find our radius. So to find our radius, we halve our diameter. So it'll be 100 divided by 2, which gives me my radius for this one as 50 centimeters. I can now plug it into my formula here. So let's do that, shall we? So I've got 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by, keep in mind the 3 is representative of your value for pi. 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 50, which gives me 6 times 50, which then equals 300 centimeters, because we have got our units there. Next one as well, we want to halve our 20, so 20 divided by 2 gives me my radius of, my radius, which is 10 meters. Now I can plug it into my formula, so I've got 2 multiplied by my value for pi that I'm using, which is 3, multiplied by 10 to give me my answer of 60 meters. On to question number 8. Oh, apologies. On to question number 8. We are finding the circumference, and again, we're using an approximation for pi. This time we're using pi equals 22 on 7. So for this one, we have 2 different circles, and we have been given our radius for one, and we're giving our diameter for the other. So let's go through step by step. I am using this formula. Circumference equals 2 pi r. So if I've got my radius so far, and my value for pi here as well, I am substituting in 22 over 7. So my answer for A is going to look like this. So let's write out our formula. I've got 2 pi r, so substitute it in. So I've got 2 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by 7, which then when I chuck it into the calculator will spit out a number of 44, and I include my units, which is millimeters. Next one, I have a diameter. So again, a diameter is through the entire circle, through that midpoint, whereas we only want to have a radius. So let's find the diameter, let's find the radius first. So to find our radius, we divide our diameter by 2. So our diameter now turns into our radius of 35 meters. I can now plug it into my formula. Let's write our formula down again. So I've got 2 pi r, and let's substitute in our value. So our circumference is going to be 2 multiplied by 22 on 7, multiplied by my value here of 35. And we get our answer then of 220 meters. There will be another video to go over the remaining questions.